Hey beautiful people, welcome back again to the channel. It's Dare here and I am your captain. Today's video is going to be about 8 solid things I wish I knew before coming into Australia. I promise you I did my research, but like they said, experience is actually the best teacher. You never be so prepared for an adventure. You never be so prepared for a particular thing until you experience it. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Dare Goodness. I am a registered nurse currently practicing here in Australia. I make life content, I make nursing content, and I make travel content. So if this looks like something you would love, please make sure to stay put and join the family, because I know you're going to learn 1 or 2 things from my channel. Without wasting further of our time, let's go over to the first thing I wish I knew before coming to Australia. When you send money into your bank account, or when you're receiving money for the first time from a new account, your money will be placed on hold for like 24 hours before you can receive it. I don't know if it's every bank, but the bank I use and some of my friends, that's the same thing they said. Now, why this is a thing that I wish I knew is because when I came into Australia, I did come in with some cash, okay, and I did open an account, but I didn't send so much money into that account, okay. So I was like, I don't want to send all my money to an account I'm not seeing physically, blah blah blah. And so I didn't send all my money, so I still had some money in my UK account before coming over to Australia. When I needed the money for something very urgent, I just realized that I have to wait 24 hours before it will come, even though it's coming from my UK bank to my Australia bank with the same name and everything. And the funny thing is, my bank in Australia held my money and said I have to go over to the bank itself for confirmation that I am the owner of the account, ID verification. Bear in mind, I've already done my first ID verification, but because that huge sum of amount was coming in and it doesn't look like an income or anything, I think they just do that for safety reasons anyway, because that's what the lady told me, that they will hold some money they suspect for safety reasons. So what if I didn't have any money with me, cash? Would I be stranded like this in a new country? Or like, what if I didn't have another alternative, So this is something I wish I knew. I did not know, to be honest, that banks would hold a money 24 hours or even make you come physically to the bank to clarify before they release some amount of money. If you're coming into Australia, please bear in mind that this might apply to you. Like I said, I don't know if it's all bank, but when I told some of my friends, they did say most banks do that. So please be aware of that rule and send money way ahead of when you actually need it, so that you're not stranded. The second thing I wish I knew before coming into Australia is that the houses price are a lot cheaper when it is school holiday. I don't know if this would have made a difference when I was coming, because I wasn't in a rush to come to Australia. If you've been following my journey, I always say this: I'm not in a hurry. I wish I knew about this. I would have planned my time I would arrive Australia to arrive during school holiday, because one, houses are easier to get during school holiday and they are a lot cheaper, right? If you are planning on coming, and if you can't change your time of coming to school holiday, that will save you a lot, especially if you're coming to busy cities like Sydney, okay. But of course, there are some things you can't change. If your employer needs you to be here, you definitely have to come. But if it's something you can maneuver, I would always advise come during school holiday. It's easier to get a house and it's cheaper. When it is not school holiday, you might even pay double the price because it's very competitive. On the contrary, if it's school holiday, everyone is back to their country, so most people pack up their things and keep in a safe place so that they don't have to pay rent on it when they are not there. So they give up their apartment, and when they come back they start searching again. So that's what most people do. So I found out that it is a lot cheaper to get a house during a school holiday. And this will bring me to introducing you to Amber Student. Amber Student is an amazing platform where you can search for accommodation in major countries and in major cities. Now, if you're coming to Australia, you're coming to places like Sydney, Brisbane, and Adelaide, you can easily get accommodation through Amber Student. These platform is strictly for students to get accommodation that is close to their school and is also affordable for a student price. Okay, and you can do this even before coming into the country. Now, while I say Australia, you can easily get AMBA students in the UK, in Canada, in the US, and many major cities. Okay, so it is something you can always look before you come into Australia or even any other country. If you can easily book your accommodation in 3 steps. The first one is to search and get what you like. I want to also check if it's up to your taste, if it has all the amenities you want in a house or in an apartment. And when you get that, you send in your application. So it requires a number of documents from you: your passport, your visa, your school admission letter, and sometimes they need a guarantor, especially if you want to pay half the price or if you want to pay in installments. They will need you to have an Australian guarantor, or if you're going to UK, a UK guarantor. Depends on where your school is. They will need a guarantor. But if you do not have a guarantor, you can still get accommodation easily, but you have to pay the full price. Now, the good thing with AMBA student is because it's made for students, the rush on the properties are not a lot. Okay, so that means you are almost guaranteed to get an accommodation, but try and book ahead, because of course it's always sold out, because a lot of students are also coming. If you already know about the housing crisis, you don't want to start doing that when you're coming to a new country. So I always advise you to get an accommodation before coming, and after you send in all your application, you secure your house by paying the fees. Okay, I'll leave a link in the description box where you can easily click and book your AMBA student accommodation. Thank you so much, AMBA student, for sponsoring today's video. Third thing I wish I knew before coming into Australia is that you have to apply for salary packaging yourself. Now, I knew about salary packaging. Okay, I knew there was a thing called salary packaging. However, I didn't apply for it immediately I came. I was lacking. I got my first paycheck, I didn't apply. Second paycheck, I have not applied. Third paycheck, I was just checking my tax and I was like, this tax is taxing. So you know what, I thought, you see, I'm going to apply for the salary packaging. But one thing that made me not to apply for salary packaging at the beginning was because the lawyer sent me a pamphlet of the whole salary packaging thing, and bottom they said it's advisable to seek financial advisor before using salary packaging. So when I saw that disclaimer, I was like, okay, there might be some disadvantage I'm not aware of, so let me wait, okay, and look for a financial advisor. As a Nigerian, I was like, why would I go and pay a financial advisor when I can read about this, when I can do this? I say, why would they be? I say, I beg. I made my own research. I spoke with some colleagues and asked them if they were using salary packaging. I just made my own research, asked people around, and most of them were doing it. So I was like, why should I not do it? I just did it, and guys, it was one of the best things that happened to me on my fourth paycheck. I got an additional $600 to $700, and this is because salary packaging is made to reduce your tax. So you can imagine how I have missed out getting something like $700, $600 extra from what I normally would get. Definitely salary packaging, apply for it. I don't know if it's all employers, but with my employer I have to apply for it. It's not something they just give you automatically like I would expect, but you have to apply for it. So yes, apply for it. And the good thing with salary packaging, you can also apply for meal entertainment card. So this is just like a bank card where they put a certain amount. So for my employer, they put something like 2,600, and with that it is pre-taxed from your salary, where you can pay for outings when you go out to eat in restaurant with your family or your friends. Okay, so it is definitely something you should think about. I wish I knew about applying it immediately, not waiting or not just delaying it, because it did save me a lot of money. Okay, so yes, something you should do. Smoking is almost highly prohibited in this country. Guys, it is one of the best things ever. You know, I go out and I barely see people smoke on the road. I barely see people smoke where I work. Those funny smoke break. I'm going out for a smoke fag break, 5 minute smoke break. I wish I knew that wasn't even a thing here. I don't see people. I mean, I might be wrong. I'm speaking from my experience. So if you're in Australia and you think that people smoke a lot here, please let me know in the comment section, because It's 3 months already and I haven't really seen people smoke. Maybe I'm not observant enough, but it's something I have actually not noticed. There are designated area where you can smoke, but when you're walking on the road, you go to restaurants, you go out, you barely see people smoke. Probably because it is very hot, and I don't know who would smoke in a very hot weather. Maybe just an addict. But yeah, probably the weather is also a good influence with that. Christ, I feel so good that people don't really smoke anyhow here. It makes me feel much healthier, because you know what secondhand smoke can do to you, right? I just wish I knew about this. Probably I'll be more happier. I mean, it's a good thing, but I'll be more happier if I knew this before even coming. Thank you, Australia. Another thing I wish I knew before coming to Australia is that people outside Australia worry a lot about snakes, spider, and animals. Meanwhile, the most important thing they should even think about are natural disasters. Okay, so if you've been following the news, you realize that some parts of Queensland, I think the northern part of Queensland, Cairns, is currently having a flood after cyclone effects. My heart goes out to all the people affected.
Now, the Cairns community is banding together to help each other after record-breaking floods from ex-tropical cyclone Jasper.
Yeah, from carrying out rescues in tinnies to offering up clothes, meals and hot showers to those without power, residents are showing just how resilient they are in the face of one of the city's worst natural disasters.
Australia is prone to loads of natural disaster, but majorly I think flood, cyclone, bushfires. Like 2 days ago, I was coming back from work and the air wasn't that good. It was a bit foggy around and I was like, what's happening? And the lady beside me just told me, oh, did I not see the news that there's a bushfire going on in one place? She just called somewhere. Anyways, that's why we are seeing the smokes. People are just more concerned about snakes, spiders. I've been here 3 months now and I've not seen any snake. I've not seen any spider. But I have experienced bushfire now. It wasn't close to a place. Okay, I live in the city area, so it's very rare to have those things here. It might be happening, but not something you experience frequently. The bushfire was very far. So we just only see the smoke effect sometimes. So yeah, people should be more concerned about those things instead of snakes and spiders. Those things are still there, but for the fact that I've witnessed these two things quicker than even a snake or a snake bite or a spider sting. I don't know if you understand me, but yeah, this is not to scare anybody. The government is always prepared for all these things. They have emergency response in place. They have safety precautions. They just have a lot of things to keep you as safe as they can keep you. Okay, they are not God at the end of the day. Things can happen, but I just like the fact that they are people oriented and they are family oriented. So that's one good thing about Australia when it comes to assisting with natural disaster. Another thing I wish I knew about Australia before coming is that people are a lot curious than you ever think. Christ, I have answered questions about my hair, my braids, where I come from, what I do, my experience in the UK. I've answered those questions 100 million times because everyone just wants to hear you talk and everyone just wants to ask you, do you like questions that are so curious? Like, I feel like, yeah, the British people are curious, but oh my God, I think Australians' curiosity are on another level. They are very curious, and that's something I didn't know. I love it because it makes us to communicate properly or makes us to get to know ourselves more, but it's still coming like I wish I knew about these things. I would just have been more prepared, but yeah, they are very curious people. And it's good because then they get to learn about your culture as well, because they expect you to know their culture. So it's something I love about Australians. Another thing I wish I knew before coming into Australia is the fact that the people tend to look for solutions more than complaining. See, an Australian might be drowning. Okay, there's even a video I'm going to show you. An Australian might be drowning, however they would offer you solution or even help the next person before they even think about themselves. So I told you about the flood that is going on in Queensland. There's a video going around now on social media about a man that was submerged in water up to his breast level, and he was more concerned about 2 other people that were there, and he was more concerned about a dog.
James, are you alright?
Yeah, man, sure.
good. Take back.
So we found them.
We found them.
We got them out of the trees. They were nearly dead up there.
Yeah, I was going to check that thing there, yeah.
Yeah, so they're all worried about you.
Yeah, no.
So you're all right.
Yeah, so good. There's someone's dog.
So it just shows to tell you about how Australians are. They really don't complain, okay, and they expect you not to complain as well, because the country is not as bad as other people think, okay. You can have it worse elsewhere. They do have their own thing, but one thing I've learned, or wish I knew before coming, is the fact that they are always trying to look for solutions, or they are always grateful for wherever they find themselves. You barely see them complain. Look for solution rather than complaining, and something I love. The last thing on my list that I wish I knew before coming into Australia is that Australians exaggerate a lot. Hey, let me tell you something. When they tell you that, hey, there's going to be a storm, they always have storm names, right? Storm this, storm Henry, storm that, storm blah blah blah. They say they're going to be storm today, or prepare. I'll be so, Nigeria storm in Nigeria will storm everywhere. And then I hear about storm, and I was like, oh, let me do this, let me do that. In fact, let me even give you a perfect scenario. I was at work one day, and almost time for closing, like an hour to closing time, and they know I use public transport. They were like, oh, you have to go home because there is a storm coming, and because you use public transport, start going. And I was like, storm? Yes, did you not see the news? And one thing, they expect you to always know about the news and all that. I said, do you not see? I said, no, I've not even checked my phone today. And they said, oh, if you go outside, it's all dark and all clammy. I said, okay, and I changed my scrub, got ready, and I came out, and I was like, this is just normal bad weather. It's not storm. And I was like, okay. I will message my husband to say, babe, there is a storm coming. No, please stay safe. I'm coming home. I came home, and I was home waiting for the storm to fall. Now I stayed, even me and my husband were just like, where's the storm? We waited the whole night, no storm. And I was like, is this the storm? Just rain. It was raining actually, but is this the storm? They actually exaggerate a lot. That's one thing I've noticed, and this is just an example. Like, generally they exaggerate things a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned one or two from me, and let me know what part of your whole moving to Australian process you are in now, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Please, if you watched to this extent, hit the like button, subscribe if you're yes to, share this video as well, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.